Oh, hi Lex. So we're going to talk about lighted Christmas balls today. Would you like to be included in the video? Oh, well, I think everybody would like to be here. It's just a fun time of year that we all want to be here together. So we're going to talk about lighted Christmas balls today. So these are going to be your end results. We're going to try to work around puppies here and show you how this is all done. So there's certain things that you're going to need for this process today. So
the first thing you're going to need to do is cut you a 2x4 section of poultry wire. That's the 1-inch welded stuff. Now we used a 4-foot tall piece of welded wire. Because we want a 50-foot roll so we can make about 25 balls out of these. When we take this 4-foot by 2-foot section, we're going to take these ends here and we're going to twist the pieces together. The challenge we have on a 4-foot section is this is the smooth side. There's nothing to twist here together. So being challenged like this, we're going to take a pair of wire cutters, and with those wire cutters, then we can come in and create something to twist these together. Of course, we need glasses just like Santa does. So we're going to come in and cut these on one side, and basically then we'll have some pieces to twist together. Now, how these came about is we have some cool oak trees in front of the house, and we wanted to light them up, and we didn't want an accident to happen, so we didn't want to be climbing up on a ladder putting tons of lights up in the trees, which looks spectacular when you light that, you wrap every branch type thing. It looks really phenomenal. But the challenge is that takes a lot of work. And to me, wrapping tree trunks is kind of wimpy looking. So I didn't really care for that look. And my wife loves Christmas, so we had to come up with something with these awesome trees out front. So going on YouTube, of course, where else do you find cool ideas? And we found this place in, I think it's North Carolina, where they do these and have been doing these for years, and people have been doing it, and the whole block's lit up with them. I think it's really spectacular. So we started doing it here in Texas too. We just come in here and twist these pieces together. We just need a frame. Now, there are some people that come in and do very elaborate wire tubing frames, and what we wanted was something simple that just about anybody could do. Even me with my not so handyman skills could come in and take pieces of welded wire and twist it together. Now some people really like to wear gloves while they do this, and the reason they like to wear gloves is because these little pieces of wire are kind of sharp and pointy. So you want to be careful in what you're working around, and also careful with your fingers. To me, wearing gloves is just too much of a challenge to make this all work, and so we just try to be careful and realize after doing about 20 of these or so that we're going to probably poke our finger a time or two. The other thing is we have a huge advantage in the workshop here in the fact that we've taken the carpet out and we're fixing to put porcelain tile down, and so we have no carpet to worry about snagging on or getting torn up, and with the porcelain tile we won't have any problems with that either. So once you get all of your pieces twisted together here, you're going to have a phenomenal tube. So, but that's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for fabulous Christmas tube lights. We got our tube now. We want Christmas balls. So what you need to do is take this end here, and we're going to come in and we're going to do some folding on that. Now, if you don't fold this deep enough, you're going to have a donut. Okay, so you want to come in and fold about 3 or 4 inches. No, more than 3. So you can kind of see here, we're going to take it and fold it. We're going to kind of crimp the ends back here. So as we do this, kind of a gradual sphere look going on here. Now once we got all the pieces folded over and we don't have the donut effect going on, we want to take some of this welded wire and bend it on the back side. And I mean, what happens if it comes loose? I've had people ask me, well, you're going to be covering this whole thing in Christmas lights, so Christmas lights are basically going to hold this all together. We have balls that have survived 3 and 4 years. We store them in big, huge trash bags up in the attic. That gives us a nice look. Now, one of the things we can do is take a weight here down on this end and pound this a little bit. It gives us a little more of a sphere look, which is really helpful on the one side. Can't get that weight in the middle for the second go around, otherwise you're trying to pull a weight up into the tree. That doesn't work real well. Now, you don't have to have a tree to make these as a special ornament. I've seen people just stack them 3 or 4 tall, you know, in the corner of a porch. You could also just hang it off of a porch section. So it is a spectacular visual element when we finish here. What you're going to get is a sphere that's about 15 inches in diameter with the 2x4 section of welded wire. So now we've got, oh wow, gee Mike, that doesn't look much like a ball. Looks kind of more like a blob. Well, you cover the blob with lights and you stick it up in a tree, you know, 20 feet over everybody's head as they're driving by in the car and walking. Looks pretty much like a ball or a star. You don't have to have perfection here. And if you do need perfection, then you probably need the welded aluminum frames and wrap those frames that are perfect circles, you know, and you can do that. So now what we want to do is come in with our lights and cover that. So the first thing is with your lights that we're going to use, I'm all about an LED light because of energy efficiency. The other thing is, if you're going to have a whole bunch of these in the trees, you want to be as efficient as possible. Then you don't have to use the excuse of, well, it costs too much to run the electricity. You're going to need 200 lights to wrap this ball. So generally I find 100 strand lights and use a couple of those. That's the minimum that you want to use, is 200 lights. Now some people use 300 and that looks spectacular as well. So these are white cords. I'm not a fan of white cords. However, the advantage of white cords is at the end of the season when they have the sales, they have white cords left. So if you use white cords and keep them farther away from the street or where people are walking, they're not as noticeable. If I'm hanging stuff in the trees, I want to use green electrical cords. I want to use green extension cords. I want to use green cords on the lights because they just blend in better. People don't notice it as much. So you want to take your first one here. We don't want to put it where we twisted all the pieces together. We want to come in and put it kind of in the center of the frame somewhere. There's a rib that runs through the wire. I generally try to put it through that because that's a little bit stronger place. I've never had one of these poultry wire tear the wire up in the wind or anything like that. Now, I don't live in West Texas like Lubbock where I grew up, but it could be an issue out there if you got a bunch of ice on it and got some wind. We generally don't get a lot of ice either, so that helps. So I'm going to tie this on. So that's going to hook up to the extension cord. When we hook the fishing line up to it, we're going to tie it off to the frame, not onto the cord itself. So it's supported by that. So now that we've had the light on here, we're just going to come in and we're going to twist it around the sphere as we go, trying to keep it as snug as possible. As we go, we want to come in and leave several inches between each one of the wraps as we go around here to consistently cover our poultry wire. Now, if you choose to put them in a tree, how do you get them up in a tree? That is the most common question I get, especially by passersby when these are 20 feet up in the air, 30 feet up in the air. How in the world did you get it up there? So what we found that works best for us is we have taken a baseball And that baseball, we've taken an eye, threaded eye that's got a screw on it, and we've screwed that into the baseball, and then we can just tie our fishing line to this. We throw it up over the branch, it comes down, we cut it loose, we tie it to the ball, we hoist the ball up and tie it off on the tree. So there you go, fairly easy. I heard one family that they really get into it, they use a potato gun. So you know, if you're into shooting stuff, that could be a lot of fun. So we're gonna come in this year with the color of lights that we're doing blue and white. And I like the cool white. Just make sure that when you purchase them all, they're all the same. That's my only tip. You know, if they're cool or warm, doesn't matter much as long as they're all the same. The first year we had kind of a mix, and people thought it was awesome looking because they've never seen anything like this. But you know, we fixed it up the following year so that it was all consistent. So on these, I have some all white balls. I have some all blue balls, and then we do some that are a combination of blue and white. So once we get to the end, we want to come in and twist that around, and then we're going to tie off the next section on here, which we'll show you as well. So we've got that tied off. We're going to come in and wrap this cord around and plug it in, so we've got that knotted tightly so we don't have any issues of that becoming unplugged. And so because we're using a blue and white combo this year, this is one of the combo balls here. So we're adding the blue lights on top of the white. Okay, so there we have a wrapped ball. So there's you a lighted wire covered ball that we will hang in the trees here in a little bit, and you'll see how all that works. So this is Mike Farley. Hope that was helpful for you, and y'all wrap them up and have an awesome day.